So yeah, sustainability, fleet, equity, security, and we've known since we were partners of GTD. Okay, this dates you. Group of Training and Development. Yeah, it was in the 18th century. Savioli was the founding partner. Okay, Joaquin has been invited to tell Ache company experience. They are not in the statistics because they didn't have this uh, vision, but it's a truly Brazilian company with activities abroad too, and is among the 17% of the high performing companies with coaching cultures that we have recently found out. Okay, please tell us. Good morning, everybody. First of all, it's a pleasure and an honor to be invited by Erickson College and by Yassi to share our experience with you. And it's an honor to see things about sustainability, this cause that's being embraced by Ericsson. And one of my responsibilities is sustainability. And one of the three pillars economic, social, and environmental, especially because we are a pharmaceutical company. It's a commitment by the founders 50 years ago. And today, my team and I have this responsibility of helping the company. This is a serious, grave issue. I come from other industries like Coca Cola here and abroad with packaging. But in the case of pharmaceutical company, the chemical composition of the products and differently from the the packaging that floats when you throw a little pill down down the toilet. Nobody sees, and it goes to the rivers and contaminates the water. And so, it's important to embrace this cause. You mentioned the name of a person when you started your talk that I have to thank together with the organizational development. That's Elaine Mattioli. It's a colleague of ours. And last year, when we, after many things had been done in terms of training and development, we decided to implement our corporate university. Since you said that she is watching us, she opened the doors to us, and we got to know the beautiful work by Eleni Mattioli, uh, Thermomechanica, both inside and outside. One day we'll get there. Just, I will take the risk of doing something that I brought some people from my team. I've been with Ache company for 7 years, and I've lived part of my life in India, and also Coca-Cola and global TV company. But I've been, as I said, for 7 years with Ache, and so I have the people that are helping me build this people management process, and inside which we have coaching. And so we're going to show you how our journey has been. I will start from the top and go back go down to coaching. Juliana responsible for recruiting, selection, medical area, medical assistance. We have a work called health and life, and so Kennedy. Uh, so he is the vice president. He is responsible for compensation. And then Vanessa from development area, Fernanda and Jusilea. That's the difficulty because I have difficulty of connecting name to people. And then she hired Lucinea, Jose. They are names that are totally, well, separately they are harmless, but when you put the three in the same environment, people with difficulties like me, so I live in Rio, work in Sao Paulo. I have my apartment here. So on the on the room, I put on the door of my room here, so Lucélia, Jusileia, Lucine, and then I repeat the 4 or 5 times. So I warm up, but today I didn't do this. Anyway, okay, I will give you a brief view of what Ashe is, because when we have Toyota and SAP, we cannot compete with because we have to sell our drugs, etc., etc. Okay, all right. Pharmaceutical labs, Ashe, it's 100% Brazilian company, three families which started from the very beginning. And in the board of directors, we have the second generation because the founders are at another spiritual life. And the second generation are the owners. We have a very well established governance model, and the shareholders are no longer managing it since 2002. So we have a board of directors and governance, IBGC, etc., and institutional, professional board, everything. So we are a company of about 4,700 people throughout Brazil, many of whom are the sales men that go visiting doctors. We have the operation Guarulhos. It's our headquarters in Guarulhos. Our biggest company. There is another unit here in São Paulo, in Santo Amaro. And 3 years ago, we purchased a smaller plant in Londrina, and we also have a participation, participation interest in BioNods, where we have 25% of the capital, but just as a shareholder in the board of directors. We have 50% of of a hormone company in Goiás, and now we are opening up a plant in Suape, Pernambuco, in the Northeast, just as big as our uh, big one in Guarulhos. Our mission is to take more life to attenuate pain, cure, and this is a noble mission that takes care of people. Our vision is to be the most innovative company of Brazilian companies, because generally Brazilian companies are copycats. They wait until the patent um is overdue, and so it's not what we want. We want to bring radical change. When you have incremental change, is you take a molecule, you survey that, and then you add to another molecule that will create a product that will improve its efficiency, or um, other ways of doing it, like orally or injected. But the radical change is to develop new molecules. Right now, at this very moment, after some years of development here in Brazil, it has been patented. We developed a molecule here in Brazil by Aché, and of course the investments until it gets to the point of sales, it's a huge amount. It's a molecule for a disease that has not cured yet. We shared the investments, and 15 years from now will be a blockbuster. So Aché has been investing a lot in this molecule. Here, our values, sustainability is something that we really value. Just to give you a notion of what we do, we have 358 brands, 500 some SKUs, and 145 therapeutical classes. But if you have any disease, we have a solution for this, either to cure or to decrease your suffering. So our PPR, and bonus, they will thank you for this. So we are highly satisfied to see our products and how much they are valued by the uh, medical class in general. We don't have operations in other countries, and we don't want to set up plants, factories outside, but we export to many countries either with our own brand or with the brand that our partners will rename. And we also bring many products from international partners to Brazil. And we have participation in a holding, an R&D holding in Europe, to help us with R&D technology that are not yet available in Brazil. So we sell and have partners with those countries in red. Let's talk about people management. Just to give you an idea of how, what are the questions that we have asked ourselves, and that are people from our team that have been before me, questions that they have been asking themselves, that we've been trying to answer. So we will approach the to what is expected from collaborators so that they can evolve in the company, and how Aché contributes to the development of collaborators. It's 100% responsibility, your development, and 100% mine as your manager. It's 100% of each side. It's not just on one party. Otherwise, it would be unfair. And then when we take uh, the first question and break down, like a planning of people, attraction of talents, potential assessments, job rotation, uh, performance, and uh, talent uh, talent management and succession. But so far, it's been working okay. And the other question, how does Aché work for this? Aché University, it's a huge source of talent. We have lots of technical training for Salesforce, for medical area. And last year, we included in the strategic planning that we will have a university. We are strongly working for this. We have had lots of benchmarks, and not only in the pharmaceutical industry, which was very good because Fernanda did that, who is the manager of the organizational development area. And we're taking, big steps, big strides. The knowledge of a share business. I spent many years working in the consumer industry, and there it's almost mandatory that people that are in the office that have management job that have to understand there they have to follow the sales force to understand how things work. And this is a, a vision that helps you a lot because when you go back to your chair, you start thinking of your solutions with their points of view because we say some fancy things like uh, that don't work at the other end. Since I've been working with HR for many years, we deal with this with greater clarity. We are a business area and we work for that. We give business trainer to our apprentices. We have monthly meetings where we take people from the business area to talk to the HR people, and we've done this to people from other areas. The coaching and mentoring process, and also the academic training like MBA and postgraduate programs, because we work with a kind of people of that are highly skilled, extremely high skills. We must provide them support. And here, when we take the four questions, there are many things that I will not broach on. We're just going to drill down. Here, we are trying to show you where the coaching and mentoring actions have more strongly helped, more effectively helped. The academy full of innovation, the Ashe Innovation Academy, not only in terms of innovation of products and brands, but also to create the to inoculate the innovation virus in all people so that they can innovate in everything they do. And this is under responsibility of our area and with the experience of from our other companies where we have worked. We implemented this project with the board of directors support, and we are already in the third cycle. And it was launched last Tuesday. And we created incubators inside Ashe, and everybody must look at things and trying to do things differently. And here, in terms of incubators, we have this strong mentoring work. We have specialized mentors and groups that validate processes. When we decide that the idea will be incubated, they work with mentors to help them develop and make that idea prosper and thrive. When we think of performance evaluation and potential evaluation, we use coaching because these are programs that give you indicators of development needs. And within this, we invest in coaching and before the divine providence starts acting. So we try to do this beforehand. job in jobbing in other functions, we have provoked people to change areas. So a person, when the person reaches a managing position or a board of directors, this person will have a better vision of the business if the path that this person treaded was not a straight line, but just a winding road, as the song said. And here, talent management, both in corporate and salesperson. So when we talk about salesperson, it's 6% of our 4,800 people spread throughout the world. And sometimes find we meet them what once a year. And obviously the coaching and mentoring program. Here we have this exploded view when we talk about the training of management. And here a specific chapter of coaching, like executives, managers, coordinators, they have a basic training and special project. And in this red part, coaching and mentoring is included there. The sales force of Aché, is there anybody from pharmaceutical industry? So Brazilian Pharmacy Federation. Aché sales force for many years is recognized as one of the best ones in Brazil. They know how to do this. And they ask for little help from us because they learned by try and error and they know a lot. So the management levels at Salesforce are run by internal people. So they have talent training programs that have been working for many years, but we just give the cherry on top of the cake. And so when a new position appeared, the first level managers had not been trained for that. So what we have done here, both in corporate areas and Salesforce, is to start training them. They start hearing from coaches and what coaching is in their development. This is the development curriculum with several programs. Here, there's a specific program of coaching for coordinators and successors. And here, we start talking to them here, and of course, the coaching programs. And I brought something here, which I did not include in the material. When we talk of successors, this material is available. It's available at the KPMG site. They call Family Portrait. They survey family-owned companies, and the issue here is governance. It's important because when we see a company like SAP and Toyota, they will talk about this multinational companies. So 219 owned companies, a small and 100 million, and most of them are 500 million up. And there is a question that they asked regarding the formation of family successors. What are the development actions prioritized by your company? 30% of the companies responded coaching with specialists. And then we should stop and think to specialists. I don't know what that state representative wants with his bill that he wants to be passed in the Congress. Coaching is not like this. Sometimes people lose their jobs and they decide to become a coach, to become a consultant, to become many things. It's not like this. You need special training, and not everybody, even with that training, will be able to do good coaching. So, coaching with a specialist, that's how I read and that's how I interpret. And 18% mention mentoring. So, it's nice when we see in our, let's say, homemade process that companies are investing in this and seeing results, and we are really having good results with that. Please, next one. Okay. Yeah. I am on the vocal side and he is on the keyboard. So this is roughly how we deal. This was not born like this. It has been refined continually. From here down, you were talking about the individual, and with our colleague from Portugal, the pessoas, as we. From here down, we look at the person. Our challenge is to look at the plant, the seed. If it's a good seed, let's find a good vase to plant that seed. So here is to see if you have a good seed, let's hold it. Uh, Try as much as possible to hold it. Sometimes good seeds are missing, and there are places for them in other areas too. At the top, we will look at the little box because no company, in general, no company that big can live with the situation in which, for some reason, tomorrow the person will leave a strategic position and there is no substitute to replace her. So we use this methodology. And here we have already advanced a lot. Here we are still missing a few important points. We have lots to evolve here because we went through drastic changes in our structure, like change of CEOs, and this sort of slacks things down. So, how coaching and mentoring are used, we will elaborate a little bit more later on. So we do something similar to what Yassi mentioned from the Human Capital Institute. We have the training of internal coaches. I will give you some numbers. We give the leader coach training, executive coaching for executives, and our internal coaching program. so that they can uh, do like SAP. So our world is the city of Guarulhos, right? But yeah, if the numbers are wrong, please blame Fernanda. Well, in the last 3 years, we saw our budget and we broke down the whole budget we use for development. And then, to make it very clear, we removed development in technical areas in Salesforce because that's highly technical programs. We considered the budget for development of management, organizational development, and then we have 15% being applied in the different ways, forms of coaching, which places us in the range of companies that believe in coaching. No, that do place you. I have a coaching uh, training. I didn't know Erickson College in Coca Cola in Atlanta. I had that international coaching. It doesn't mean that I might do this very well on my day-to-day activities. I have a realistic view of the manager as a coach. Sometimes it might be conflicting. You have the goal, the result, but we do believe that we have strongly invested in this. Ashe already did that before, but I think we were able to organize a way of doing this in a more disciplined way. So, internal coaches, we started doing this in 2013. So, in 2013, we started creating this training, internal coaches. And since then, we trained 26 people. So the executive director has some 110 people. If you remove labor safety, the hardcore of human resources, with a typical HR functions, some 80 people. 26 have been internally trained as coaches. This helps us with all the talent programs, not only because when you have some people from within the company, that helps, and sometimes because of cost. This is what we did with hunting. So Coca-Cola asked me 3 months for the transition, and then I I studied how much we spent with hunting consulting, and then together we had our internal hunting area, and then we went 2 or 3 times. We resorted to the market only for the, let's say, CEO, and of course there is a hunting cost issue. So we started training our people, and then we had the training as the leader coach. It's important for the leader to have this, even if he will be more of a leader than a coach, but he can act in a more tranquil manner as a coach. One more. Oh no, forward. Okay, very good. Executive coaching has existed for more than 7 years, but before that, it existed in the with the DO department. Oh, if you have a problem, go there with the coaching guy there. Oh, I did the coaching. There was no HR development or follow up. What we did was to take that and identify some suppliers. Of course, you know that each coach or each coaching training, you have not only the training that might uh, be more biased to this or to there, but there's also the professional himself or herself. So we filtered, we identified some companies. Today we have 3 companies that have professionals that can help more with this type of need or with that type of need. So when we have a demand for a certain executive or a senior manager of needing coaching, we recommend, because coaching many times you have many things that you're bringing from the entrails of the person, and sometimes this might create, some fear. And so if you understand the demand, the company's demand, and you talk to the future coachee, then we think that this consulting company tend to give better results with this type of issue. And then we present at least 2 people for him to talk to. So just like Eliana said, oh, try another one. Maybe it's a better one. So the coachee will choose which one he prefers. The objectives are there, and that's the target public. This is this is no rocket science. There is nothing innovative. We just organized it well. We must have a commitment from the boss, that can be either the CEO or a director, talking about a manager. So there must be a commitment of what will be done. Then it's 5 to 10 meetings, because more than that, then it's something different, which is no longer coaching. So in the middle of the process, there is another meeting with HR, the coachee, the coach, and the coach's boss. And recently we had a situation where we had the CEO, a professional that is being prepared, that directly reports to him, and ourselves. And in that meeting, we're not concerned of what the conversation was all about, and of course, the confidentiality thing. When we have that commitment and when we choose the companies, it has to be truly conventional. There's no side talk between the HR and the consulting companies. No, it is a truly confidential process. But here we will discuss, we'll talk about how the evolution has been going on, so that you can have other sessions and then a closing or commitment session. When the guy thinks, oh, finally it's over. No, it has just started. Now, let's talk about your development and the importance of having the HR department. And I only enter this when you have directors as a coachee. We have business partners to follow up and keep supporting the development. Internal coaching. Now we take, see, we started with the top one, but now we are dealing with the guys at the bottom levels. So internal coaching for several talent development uh, talent development programs, and also the level here changes, but the idea is to create a so-called critical mass at the different levels of the company. When you take these people, remember when I talked about preparation, their preparation before they undertake their new positions. When I since I lived in India, Ranj Arani was a consultant of that company, and we do believe and know that maybe the biggest change in a person's life, in a professional life, is when the person uh, is no longer a team but a boss. And it, it has everything to go right, but has everything to go awry. And so we have tried to invest a lot in this. Now, mentoring, it's already there. Talking about mentoring, you know the difference between mentoring, but we deal with mentoring and coaching very different. The purposes, the objectives. In coaching, the coach listens more, asks more. With mentoring, it's different. The mentoring, I am pouring from my jar into the other person's jar, right? And so there are some people that might go through an internal coaching. Yeah, that was the hint. So when I mentioned the jar, then it came. And sometimes this person is going through a mentoring process on the side. So then I am lending my experience to speed up his growth process. Yeah, that's the more specific part. I noticed that you were interested in the results. Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. It's hard, results of behavioral development, very difficult. And I was a little ashamed, but I will confess to you. But I would like to hear from our friend who is not from HR. Sometimes I am a little ashamed of this HR environment. I am an engineer. I am an engineer. Whoops. Okay. Not for you, because I can identify with you, but for them, okay, don't worry. There is remedy for you. There is salvation for you, because when we uh, when we go through engineering, we think there is no hope. But as a good engineer, engineers are obsessed by indicators, and we invest a lot in indicators. Now, honestly speaking, during all these years and as an HR team, and since they are very vain, so proud, they say that they hear from other areas that we have one of the best budget management processes. They say that, and that we really have a deck of indicators that have been enhanced, and we have been lucky to hire a person and see the zigzag. Now it's a business partner, and this girl came and brought us light, and now we brought another person in because we do believe in indicators. And the philosophy is what cannot be measured cannot be valued. Because deep down, the name of the thing is how do I justify the development? When I put in the business plan that I have to invest 50% of my budget in coaching activities, when I am discussing Salesforce investments in operation, if I don't have very strong arguments, I will not win what I am claiming for. I am from a generation that when we got end of September of any year, then the executive directors would set up 9 plus 3, 9 passed and 3 to go. The 3 to go are the 3 months to close the year. When the result was not good yet, the first person they looked, human resources. Okay, training. Well, cut down, training and budget and this. Now organizations have changed their mind. But if you don't have strong arguments, uh, you'll be swallowed by, let's say, the Salesforce guy. So when we show some more visible results, oh, they said they when they said that I had as much time, we have been enhancing. See, oh no, I lost all my train of thought, you know. But we cannot measure everything. How do you measure things? I remember once in Atlanta, in Coca Cola, I went to one of the measurement of results in training, level 1 to level 5, which is the impact on ROI. So, how do you measure the impact of training on ROI? No, we cannot measure, but you have some indicators. You can have, let's say, a guiding north, as we call it. So, although Fernanda is a psychologist, she helped us to develop a methodology. There is copyright. You cannot take a picture that has worked. And the most important thing, it's a simple thing. It's this coaching results. Coach is the big one. The small one is the coach. The managers, T, training, HR, employees. So after training, we apply this, and the result will plot on a spreadsheet that will tell us how the thing works. And this is very useful when we go to the board of directors. Okay? If you want to, we can explain. It seems, it looks difficult, but you will see how easy it is. Just to relax. It's that's not the way we measure. So you don't measure then? No, we do measure. But in addition to what you mentioned, that for you to see the person growing, and sometimes the person tells you, but there are other indicators that we have used to justify our investment decisions. Okay, this is serious, right? These are serious. Since 2015, we chose the economic value, the engagement survey. Our first was 2015, 2017, and 2018. And various things that are surveyed, several items that have shown us that we have lots of things to do, and we have done. Since it's a multifunctional team, we work like this: 77% total engagement, and in 2018, 90% engagement. There is the coaching finger there. There is the uh, training management. There is the finger of people who are working on this. We are not, we don't have money just like this. So, um, internal talent management, entry level, quality of feedbacks, because we have a performance assessment until last year for 450 managers, and we see the feedbacks. We have forms that uh, record this, the feedback and the quality, and even performance assessment. We use the 9 box model. In 2012 was wonderful. Everybody was at the very top, only stars. It looked like the galaxy. Now we see that the assessments have been more consistent, more realistic. And being consistent, realistic, it means giving opportunity to people to know that they have to improve, to managers better prepared for people, the quality of the Ashe Academy innovation, Ashe Academy projects. And then there is a greater equalization in terms of Ashe leadership culture. So some indicators that we plot and that have helped us in this indicator, right? And so I was within the 5 minutes. Yeah, but she said I could use as much time as I wanted, but that's all right. Thank you for your time. If there are questions, so please note down your questions, because first I would like to thank your presentation, her presence with his whole team from Ashe, and you created that formula. Oh, that formula is great. Yeah, I know that there were people that froze when they saw that. Joaquin, thank you very much. So keep your questions